Come on in, fam. We're getting the mic check to make sure that my mic is working properly. Oh, please, make sure the mic is working. Right. Come on in, fam. It's another Tuesday with your host with the most, the one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander. We have a awesome lineup for you today. So come on in. As always, you guys know when you come in, we get that share button. And then we let everyone know where we mail it from. Right. Yeah. Just want to say thank you guys for your Saturdays. Thank you all for always tuning in. Come on in, fam. Conversation. Dissertation. Yes, the truth session with your host with the most. We're going to talk about some things. We talked about Isaiah 45 and 7 in the last session. We're going to get at it again. Okay, we're going to get into it because there's a tendency to be subject or subjective when we are thinking about our own thought processes, right? We're we tend not to be objective, but we're gonna get a working definition today for being subjective versus being objective, and then I'm going to reveal. We're going to break some codes. We're going to open up something for you. We're going to go back and we're going to look at Isaiah 45 and 7 again. And then I'm going to build on that a little bit, okay, to back up why I said what I said in the last session. So that you can become objective and not subjective. Now, as number one KP, those of you that were in Wine Down Wednesday, she shared something very important with you guys. What she said was that, listen, the apostle and those of us that are in his company, we're not trying to get you to think like us. We're just trying to get you to think, right? Because it's a lost art. Most of us really think we think for ourselves. No, we don't. We're having thoughts hyperboloed or parabolated or tossed into our minds, and we grasp it and we tend to think that it's ours, and it really isn't. It is a motive behind doing to get you to behave in a way that's consistent with what the powers that be tend for it to be. Okay? So, it is our attempt here in the Truth Session to get you to see you and to have an introspect and to see and check your thoughts to make sure that they belong to you, that they originated from. And once you can determine that, you can also determine whether it's applicable or should it be deleted. Okay? So let me finish sharing, and we're going to set our frequency and we're going to go ahead and get into this. All I need is about 50 to 60 minutes of your time. If you can sacrifice that, I promise you, it will pay dividends in some of your thought beliefs and put you in a different position, an advantageous position in controlling your thoughts and controlling your level of temperance. Because we did delve off into the word temperance, right? That led us to what? Self control. And if you notice and you look out in the concert, in the theater of what's happening in society, in the social realm, you see that there is a lack of control. So hey, let's get into this. Let me finish sharing and we'll get into this. Is that all right? Okay, stick with me. I promise you it's something here for you. Okay? Get a couple more shares in here, then drop this in a few more groups here, and we're gonna move on. Okay? Just bear with me. Just give me a little time. If you can just sacrifice 50 to 60 minutes, I promise you, you won't regret it. I'm going to give you some information. I promise you it's probably going to be an eye opener, and specifically for those that are my churchgoers and church followers that come on with us here in the Truth Session. And I think that we should always be willing to evolve. We should be willing to hear information outside of our normal conversation because those that judge themselves among themselves are not wise. What does that mean? When you are in your own little group and you all are judging everything by yourselves, for yourselves, and there is no outside opinion, right? There is no outside pushback. That's not smart. That's not wisdom. But wisdom would dictate the fact that if what you have is substantiated and it is what it is, and it's factually based, then it should stand under critical critique. You want critical critique so that it takes it to a place where it cannot be debunked. That's that's where you want your information to go, and that's when you're being objective. But when we are subjective, we kind of get our emotions involved and we get upset, start name calling and saying, "Oh, you just don't this and that." No, that's not the way to go. That's not how to do it. But if we're going to evolve and we're going to grow, we're going to level up, we're going to have to be able to share information with each other that sometimes makes us uncomfortable about our beliefs. Okay? So that's important to note as we move into the session today. Okay. Today's session we picked as a topic what you believe is it subjective or objective? And if you don't mind, will someone please put that on the timeline? Okay. What you believe is it subjective or objective in today's session? And I promise you, if you give me 50 to 60 minutes, I can cake this up. And I promise you, it'll be a nice cake. You'll be able to get you a nice slice out of there and get what you need. Take what you need out of it. Now, you need to understand that I'm not just speaking to you, but I'm speaking to everyone simultaneously, right? Because my voice is amplified. My voice is anointed to be able to speak simultaneously to everyone at the same time, and you hear exactly what you need to hear. No two persons hear things exactly alike. You hear it according to what your intellectual makeup is. And if you notice, we have a tendency to always make decisions based off of information that we already have. Not that something new is coming to us and we're making a decision. Decisions are based off of actually what you already know. So the more you know or the more informed you are, the easier it is for you to make choices and decisions that are way out in your favor. How about that? Yes. Okay. Y'all ready to set the frequency? Okay. Let's set the frequency, family. Listen, get in tune. Get in tune. Every thought that's not your thought, get ready to dismiss it. It's not yours. You don't want that. You want to dismiss every distraction, everything that comes to try to inhibit you from hearing the way that you should hear. Some of us believe in faith, some of us believe by faith. But then it says to us in the sacred text, faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Most High One. By hearing. right? Let's get on this frequency. Your frequency will belong to you. We call the true session to order and all others to order. Release every thought that's not yours. Coming into a happy space, coming into a healthy space in the mind, spirit. Greetings, Umbutu, Abaragani, Amani Kaka, Amani Dada, Assalamu alaikum, Shalom alaikum, Hola, Dieu, Ni Hao, Kunshu. Greetings, fam. Come on in, it's time for the two sessions. Of course, I am your host with the most. I am the one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander at your service. Also, I want to shout out my father. Today is my father's birthday. His solar return. My father turns 80 today. Wow, what a landmark. So shout out to you, Dad. Happy birthday to you. Also, you see me wearing this particular shirt today. We're in support of none other than our very own one, T Swin. Men can't always be wrong. They dressed me with this, and so I wanted to honor them in today's truth session. We support each other. We support his podcast. Awesome podcast. Please, YouTube. You can go to YouTube, like and subscribe. T Swing. Men can't always be wrong podcast. And all of you guys, you're in the room today. If you have businesses, please put them on the timeline. And if you have paraphernalia, if you send it to me, I will, of course, endorse it. And I'll put it out there. Okay? All right. Now, with that being said, are you guys ready? If you're ready for the session on today, do this for you, for me, and for us. Put a one out there. If you're in the room, put a one out there. If you're ready to jumpstart this thing. Hey, Shahara. Hey, Kizzy. Hey, Vanessa. Hey, Stephanie. Head of the Mod Squad. Our very own intuitive one. Craig Leverett is in the house. Sergeant at Arms, Kiana. King Blackie, 217 in the house. I see y'all here. Hey, Jamal. I see y'all up in here. We're going to get this thing on real strong like Matty Stone, who's from King the Pop of the Rolling Stone. Yeah, hit that one. Oh, y'all beat me. Put my one out there, fam. Yep, that mine is. Let's get us some working definitions going here, fam. I know some of you, you may have a understanding of subjective, right? But what we want is a denotative. Okay, we want a denotative. When you guys see that, let me know. Also, it will come up under when the teacher will appear. Springfield in the house, 217. Who else is in the house? Okay, subjective. It came in. Okay, great. All right. Let us know when you're here. We really will shout you out. This is a family thing, y'all. Listen, this is for you, for me, and for us. It doesn't matter what anyone else is talking about or saying. Listen, we're going to be up in the truth session and do it the way we need to do it because it's our platform. Okay? So please bear that in mind. That's why we take our time. This is why we undertake with painstaking efforts to get this information to open it up for you guys. Okay? Now, let's look at this. I wanted to put it in your eye gates. I think it's really gonna open up some things. Okay, I want to put this in your eye gates. Now, subjective. When we're talking about being subjective, listen to this. Being subjective means that one's perspective, opinions, or interpretations are influenced by personal what? Feelings, experiences, or individual biases. Let's hear today. Open your ear gates. It is inherently based on one's own viewpoint and may not necessarily be universally applicable or objective. Okay? Is it all right if I read this in your hearing again? I'm going to be a little redundant because, listen, we've been told so many things that were wrong that it has imprinted and impressed on us, and it's hard to delete it and make it be obsolete. Okay? So, let me read this again in your hearing. And I want to take my time to take this up for you so you can follow me and we can connect the dots. Okay? All right. Okay. Subjective. Being subjective means that one's perspective, opinions, or interpretations are influenced, one, by your personal feelings, two, by experiences, and thirdly, by individual biases. Okay? This is being subjective. It is inherently based on one's own viewpoint. It is inherently based upon one's own viewpoint. It's only how you see things, not how everyone else sees it or sees it. It's how you see it. It is based upon your viewpoint. When you're trying to stress your own point, always note that it's going to be subjective. And what you want, if you're doing that, is for someone to hear what you're saying and then give an opinion. Okay? Right? You don't want to get frustrated and angry with someone because they don't see it how you see it or see it from your viewpoint. And if you notice, when we get into our belief system does something. It creates our own opinions, right? And those opinions are not necessarily going to be based what? In fact, okay? So to be our own viewpoint, okay? I'm working this because it's important because there are certain things that we haven't instituted and upgraded our language, our knowledge, our articulation. We haven't done that because why? We haven't been challenged from a different vantage point that isn't ours. Okay? So it is inherently based on one's own viewpoint and may not necessarily be universally applicable or objective. Now, let's juxtapose this. We're going to juxtapose this for comparison and contrast with being objective. Let's put a working definition out there for being what? Objective. Okay. Now, please note that I'm not being condescending. I'm not suggesting that you're not intellectually astute or emotionally intellectual. So please just give me a few minutes to take it out. Okay. I know I'm belaboring the point. Let me get at it. Okay. If you all got that, if you got what I was saying about being subjective, put a two out there. Put the number two. Okay. And if you don't feel okay with participating in this element of it, that's okay. You don't have to put a two out there. But if you're with me and you with us and you're with you, put a two. That almost rhymed, didn't it? Was important, don't even know it. Yes, you're in the true session today. Yes, with your host with the most. I see you, Stephanie. Hey, Crystal. Yes, indeed. Okay. Now, look at this. Now we're getting ready to get us a working definition for being objective. Let's look at this in a juxtaposition. Okay. Juxtaposition is not some big word. You can look it up. It's a nice word to put in your vocabulary. Okay. Right. All right. Now, objective. Being objective means to approach a situation or information without personal bias, emotions, or subjective influence. Let me read that A portion again. Open your ear gates and catch it. It's beautiful. Listen to this. Objective. Being objective means to approach a situation or information without personal one, bias, two, emotions, thirdly, subjective influences, your own influence. Okay. Now it goes on to say in the B portion, it involves presenting facts and information based on observable evidence and without personal opinion, ensuring a more impartial and unbiased perspective. Now let's do that again. Let's do B portion again. It involves presenting facts and information based on observable. Listen to this. Observable. When you're being objective, you're going to give something, right, that's based upon observation. It's going to be, it's going to have observable evidence. Okay. And without what? Personal opinion. It doesn't require your opinion because it's going to be exactly what it is. Okay. Right. Okay. Also, thirdly, ensuring a more impartial and lastly, unbiased perspective. So that's subjective and objective. So more often than not, you can tell when someone is being subjective because when you're communicating with them, they're going to be emotional. Okay. Now, when you're conversing with someone that knows the facts, chances are they're not going to be emotional. And what I mean by emotional, they're going to be in control of their energy. They're going to have temperance. Remember, we talked about temperance in the last session. Self control. They're going to have control of their language, their body movements. They're going to be in sync with smoothness, calmness, so that they can not detract from their point of proof, in fact. Okay? All right. Are we here today? Okay, you guys got that? Okay, now let me go back to what we were dealing with because I had some questions in my DM afterwards about okay, where are you getting this information from? And remember, I told you we're not here to proselytize you. What we are here to do is help you take your journey. And remember, we talked about it's not the journey itself, it's how you take your journey, right? And I share with you guys that, or I share with you, family, that Master Teacher and I and our constituents, we chose how to take our journey versus the journey itself. Okay? Now, with that, you're going to be scrutinized because you're not going to have a certain kind of decorumness, or we call it decorum. You're not going to have a certain kind of behavior that people think is consistent with, oh, you say you're an apostle, you say you're a prophet. Oh man, you out here sipping and smoking cigars? You're a sinner. The devil is in you. You're evil. Right? That's okay. If that's how you feel and that's what you think. I think that you are misinformed. And a lot of the information that has been shared with you has caused you to have misnomers. Okay? So, with that, let me put this out there. Greetings, Issachar. Let me put this out there for you guys. Okay, we're going to go back to Isaiah 45 and 7. But with that, again, as I was sharing with you, we decided to take our journey a different way. Because what we noticed that we were always among ourselves, with ourselves, commending ourselves among ourselves, judging ourselves by ourselves, without any outside critical critique. In other words, the group that we were in, the religion that we were in, the teachings that we were in, were only based off of our own subjectivity. It was based off of how we think and how we should behave. But that may not necessarily be what? The truth. Okay? So the only way you're going to really find out if what you're doing is factual, it must be tried. Right, Master Teacher? Someone has to come along and try what you think you know or what you think you believe. And if it stands under scrutiny and it reveals something that's observable, then we know that you're dealing with objectivity. Okay? And this is what we want. We want facts. We don't want fiction. We want fact. I want you to be able to prove that to me. I don't want to have to snatch it out of the sky, because if I snatch it out of the sky for myself, what I get isn't going to be what you got. Yours is still going to be different from mine. So the only way that we can come up with something that we can have maybe similar thoughts is that it becomes what? Observable. I can look at it, I can see it, I can touch it, I can feel it, I can examine it, I can assess it. Now, see, I'm getting to you because When we don't follow this particular kind of pattern, then we can be easily deceived. People can use trickery and deceit, okay, and deceive you. People can deceive you with what? Misinformation or with what? Disinformation. Right. We know that they're similar, but there's a dissimilarity in there too, as well. Right? Misinformation, we understand that it may be someone that's what? Giving you information that they haven't taken their scholarship far enough to understand that some of this isn't correct. But then there are those that give you disinformation that knows that what they're giving you isn't correct. Okay? So that's a subtle difference there. All right. So thank you, Master Teacher, for putting that out there. Let me post it as well. Um, everybody okay? Put some hearts out there if you're okay. Throw them emojis up. Put some hearts out there if you're okay out there. Okay. I just have a few more minutes with you. I'm gonna take this up real quick for you, and you'll be able to see it. Watch. Now, remember we was talking about this. We were talking about temperance. We was talking about a number of things, and we got to this place where we were talking about being subjective and objective, which we just went over. When you're subjective, you tend to see things in a different light. Things are really not bright colored for you when you're being subjective. Things are really not bright colored. Has a kind of a slant to it. It's kind of refracted, right? It's kind of bent a little bit, not perpendicular, not straight up and down. But when you get to fact, when you get to objectivity, it's going to reveal something to you. And I want to read this to you so that you can see this is objective. And then that there is a declarative statement that is being made here as well. Now, listen to this. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. And remember, we're not having a church session. We're not trying to proselytize you. I'm getting ready to break some codes for you and open some things up for you so you can see clearly what people have been misinforming you with and others disinforming you with. Okay? Let's read it again. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So, I, the is the definite article. What? It is a definite article that means it is the only one of its kind. Yeah. Right? That's what that means. Excuse me. Yeah, this energy is flowing. But that's what it is, right? It's a declarative statement. Meaning that can't nobody do this. The only somebody doing this is me. There is nothing else, nobody else. Let's look at this. So the key word in there that we want to pull out is what? Evil. What was the statement? Someone tell me what was the statement? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Wait a minute. Created the darkness too? Right? And then created the what? And then created the what did he create? Evil. We always equate evil with who? Say it again. All right. Now, let's look at these two words. Let's use word reversal. If we use word reversal, watch this. Look at that. Look at what evil comes out to be. What? For live. Now, if we use word reversal over here, what? Lived. Isn't that something? Look at that. So So what we're equating with the devil is what evil and evil equates to the devil, excuse me, and then evil we use word reversal, we get the word what? Live. And if we use the word devil, we get the word what? Lived. With D. Live and lived. Okay? So now, the point I'm trying to stress to you is listen to this. Listen. Listen where evil came from. Evil came from the from who? Lord. Wait a minute. Somebody said the devil. Come on, y'all can talk to me. It's all right. Y'all on the timeline. Mm-hmm. Uh, Queen Kissy says, right. Once you start to live your life outside of church, then you're evil. Right. There you go. Shahara says that is true. Okay. Y'all stick with me. Just give me a few minutes. I promise I'm gonna take it up for you. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Now, what I want you all to understand that let's look at this now. We found out that the devil didn't didn't create evil. Isn't it amazing? Let me show y'all something that we do, right? When something good happens to us, because it's that's relative. Good is relative. We always equate that with who? With the Lord. I'm using this generic term just to keep in sync with you all, because I don't refer to that the Most High ones as Lord. But anyway, when you look at the word Lord, we always equate the Lord with good, because every good and perfect gift comes from above, right? That's what the sacred text says. If you are a student of it, or maybe you've heard it before. So it says, and every good and perfect gift comes from above, right? So when something good, we say, man, God done bless me, man. The Lord done bless me, man. I'm in there. Y'all stick with me. Don't drop off yet. Yes, yes, 217, King Blackie. Yes. Let me dig into this a little deeper for you too, because I'm really getting ready to drop something. Hey, J Love. J Love is in the house. Please put your podcast on the timeline, J Love. I shout out to Gerald. Peace be upon him. Um, so when we look at this, y'all catch this now. I'm not trying to snatch the rug from under you. I'm trying to get you to see. Okay. Now, so we say, "Whoa, man, God done blessed me." So when something bad happens, who do we blame the devil. The devil did it. I not know the devil did it. That old sleuth-footed, bubble-eyed devil did it. Right? Then we put on devil, he did nothing. He wasn't even there. He wasn't even there. He needs some therapy, because everybody blaming everything on him. When the Almighty just told you that I created the evil. Okay, let's go a little farther with this. Let's go a little farther with this. Let me put um First Kings out there. 22, we're gonna take 19 through 22. I'm just building on this, and then we have a little conversation, and I'm gonna get you out of here. I see you, T Swin. T Swin in the house. Yes, men can't always be wrong, baby. I got you. Um, let me put this out here for you guys, and then I'll get you out of here. I just want to show you that oftentimes we think that we're being objective and we're being subjective. We're basing things off of our own feelings, and primarily because of how we've been programmed. Okay. Now, so earlier conversation about Master Teacher and I and our other constituents in terms of us how we take our journey, we knew that we couldn't extend this kind of conversation to you because we've been blacklisted, we've been called the devil, chief of the devil, we've been called, you name it, we've been called it, and people have tried to do all kinds of things to derail us, to keep us from being able to do what we do, but you can't. You can't stop that which is and was and shall be, right? So we're moving forward with this, but we knew that at some point we had to move outside of that circle to be able to give you this information. And it's been with a price. Yeah, we have it's not this is not a cakewalk. This is not easy. I don't care how easy we may make this appear. It isn't easy because it's constant warfare. You don't get to relax. You have to keep your spirit on a swivel. Not your head, but your spirit on a swivel because there's something always trying to attack you. And it's not coming from the devil. It's coming from those that say they are good. We're good, and I have the Spirit of the Lord in me. And those are the very ones that seek to do what? Evil. Okay, let's get to something. Did I get Kings out there for you guys yet? Okay, Master Teacher got it out there. Okay, here I come. If you're with me and you're following me, put a one out there. Y'all gonna beat me with the one? Let me see if I can get y'all this time. Oh man, Master Teacher and Keena beat me. Y'all cold, man. Y'all cold. Y'all cold. All right, let's look at this. Let me make it make sense. Let's look at First Kings. Sifar Malik 22, 19 through 22. Right? Listen to this. And it said, Hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. This is the prophet Micaiah or Michael talking, and he's talking to King Ahab and King Jehoshaphat. And he said, Hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. Now, he's giving you a picture. He's looking into the vision realm, and he's saying to you, Listen, I see the Most High, and I see an assembly about him. I see the host that is about him. Now, notice now he's talking about the Lord. He's talking about the Most High. Okay? Now, we just read where the Most High said, I created evil. Right? I created dark. I created the light. I created peace. All this stuff that you see, I did it. It's me. Now, listen to this. The 20th verse says, And the Lord said, Who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. Now, listen to this, y'all. It's a conversation going on now. According to Micaiah, the spirits or the angels are talking to the Lord on this manner and that manner. They're trying to come up with a strategy to deal with King Ahab. Yes, sir. Are y'all listening to them? This conversation, you can go back and read the entirety for yourself and get an even greater drawing because I'm just giving you surface. I'm just breaking the code for you. Now watch this. So they're having this conversation and look at the 21st verse.
And there came forth a spirit. Listen to this. And there came forth out of all of them that's talking, one of the spirits that come up with a good idea. Listen to this. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. Now listen, all of this, remember now they're having a conversation in the 20th verse, right? On this manner and on that manner they were saying, they were talking. Correct? Okay. Now, again, 21. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. Correct? Now, this is the spirit that's in heaven, that's with the Most High, that's good, and that all perfect and good gifts come from where? Above. Wait a minute. This here ain't finna be perfect. This here ain't finna be good. Okay, so my point is that there's some other things that come from where you think that only good comes from. But when we're being subjective, guess what? We're not being emotionally, intellectually astute. Okay, y'all with me? Okay. Now, and there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. 22nd verse says, and the Lord said unto him, look at this now. And the Lord, the who? And the Lord said unto him, and then what he asked him a question, didn't it? The Lord asked the Spirit. Now, first of all, the Lord is all knowing. Right. But he's asking this Spirit. Right? So, wherewith? He asked the Spirit wherewith, and he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit. Hold on. Wait a minute. I will go forth, and I will be a lying what? Spirit in the mouth of all of his what? Prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so. Wait just one doggone minute. Dag nabbit. Did y'all hear what just was said? See, the preacher man, the good preacher man and woman ain't gonna tell y'all the truth. They ain't gonna tell y'all. They ain't gonna look at this, dissect this, and give it to you. Because it would be what? Counterproductive. It will put you in an advantageous position. It will bring you to a place where you begin to understand temperance and that you must have self-control and gain control over your own thought processes. Now, listen to this. Let us read it again. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of its prophets. And then what did the Lord say? Thou shalt persuade. Thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so. Now, the last I checked, liars was going to do what? Burn in the lake of fire and brimstone, ain't they? And then what's going to happen to liars? What, y'all out there, y'all listening today, right? Right. Liars are going to do what? But here's a spirit that just went lying. Right. Hold on. Not only did the spirit go lying, but the spirit was given permission from who? From the what? Most High. From the Most High. So people say one thing God can't do, He can't lie. He just did. Okay. Chapter and verse, Malik King Blackie is going to be 1 Kings 22, verse 19 through 22. It's out there. It's out there on the timeline for you. You can see it and examine it for yourself. But what I'm trying to get y'all to see, y'all think that, oh, God is incapable of lying. No, He just lied. Hello? If you got that, if you caught that, put the two out there on the timeline. Let me take it up a little bit more for you. So, in other words, what just happened was the Lord asked the Spirit, wherewith? In other words, what are you going to do? You're going to tell a lie. Okay, I'm with you with this lie. You're going to prevail. You're going to persuade all of those prophets to tell a lie. Listen, those prophets ordinarily would not have lied, but they were given a lying spirit. And where did the spirit come from? It came from the Most High. It came from the Lord. So when people say, well, God can't ever lie, he just did. The proof is right there. And I'm going to further develop some other things to show y'all to juxtaposition these things so y'all can begin to see that men are creating their own doctrines and teachings subjectively and not objectively. They're not looking at the information properly to give you something that's observable. So you got to understand then that the lion ain't coming from the devil. Where's it coming from? And it would appear that, oh, he's riding with the devil. I'm not riding with the devil. I'm riding with me so that I can see. Right? So when you look at this, he already told you that I'm the one that created evil. The Most High told you this. Then he turned around to show you that I'm the one that created evil. Watch me tell a lie. I know some people say, prophet, you done lost your mind. No, I'm not. I'm showing you right here. It's right there in black and white. It's right there. If you read it, you can get it for yourself. You may not get it how I get it, but you can get it how you can. Anybody seeing that? I know some gonna jump off the boat. I know, no, he's a little bit too far on that. That's a little bit too much for me. But then you'll never get to the truth. Because the truth is the only thing that'll make you free. Does that make you doubt the Most High? No, it doesn't make you doubt the Most High. It just lets you further know who he is and what he's capable of. You can never really understand anyone if you don't know who they are. Now he just sit on the throne with all of his angels around him, having a conversation about what they was going to do with King Ahab and the prophets that were in the providence. Oh, let's make them all lie. Now you have to understand, if you understand this within the context of what was going on, there was a war with the Syrians. There was a war with Yisrael. There was a war going on, and so what they wanted to do was go and take some land. You got to read the story to understand what was going on. So they wanted to go to war. But what ended up happening was the people were slaughtered. So you telling me that, okay, I'm going to go down here and be a lie in the mouth of the prophets and then get a whole bunch of people killed. Y'all hear me? Something wrong with that. Read the story and get a drawing. Read the fictitious narrative and get a drawing. This is for information. This is saying one thing to say something else. And what am I saying to you is, when you find out the truth of who the Father or the Lord really is, you're going to understand that he has the ability to do anything, include lie. Not only include lie, but also murder. He will murder you. He will kill you. Oh, stay tuned for next session, where we're going to talk about where he was going to commit murder. And someone had to stop him. Talk about how the Most High, y'all around here talking about these people making all these sacrifices. But what you don't understand is the Most High is into making sacrifices. Hello, somebody. See, within the construct of the religious realm, we weren't able to be able to tell you all these kinds of truths and give you this kind of information because it would be considered sacrilegious, right? That somehow you're blaspheming. The only thing that stopped me from telling the truth is fear. Y'all with me? Y'all with me? Did anybody get anything out of that? If you got something out of that, put a 3. If you got something, put a 3. And I want you to put a 3. There's a reason why I'm asking you to put a 3. I'm just not asking you to participate in this. But there's hey-yo soon. So the reason why is 3. Where we at in the third dimension? How do we see in 3D? Yeah, right, 3 dimensions. We see in 3 dimensions. However, don't confuse that with the fact that we only see one dimensionally. What do you mean? What do you mean, Apostle? Yeah, you only see one dimensionally because you cannot see simultaneously the posterity or the anterior and the posterior, right? You can't see the front and the back at the same time, so you're only seeing what? In one dimension. Although we have the ability to see what? 3-dimensionally. So that means that at some point we're what? Short-sighted. Except, which is why we have what? Seers. S-E-E-R E-R-S, seers. Seers have the ability to have penetrating vision. Stick with me. That's why they can see events, people describe it, front, back, round, side, everything, because they have penetrating vision, not x-ray vision. And I'm writing about this in my book. And you are going to really want to get this book because I'm really laying some things out in it. But they have penetrating vision. They have the ability, and I call this the light bending realm. Yes. Master teacher. Yes, sir. I call it the light bending realm. Listen to me. I'm going to give you some game. The light bending realm is based upon the ability to refract light. Y'all hear me? I'm almost finished with you. It is the ability to refract light. What does that mean, to refract? To refract means to bend. In other words, the seer, we now call them what? Prophets, have the ability to bend light. And when they bend light, what it does is it allows them to have surround vision because they bend the light. If they don't bend the light, then they would see completely through a thing and not be able to assess the whole thing. Trust me, I know exactly what I'm talking about. So they refract the light and they bend it, and they're able to see in the third dimension, not only the third dimension, but in other dimensions, because they have a special gift or a special ability to do certain things. Now, we're all gifted. We all have gifts. We're all carrying all kinds of gifts. But most of us have not developed them. They're still in their primordial state. And oftentimes it takes someone to come along and activate them. And once they're activated, they come online and then you begin to tap into them. What's happening is we're tapping into information and we're becoming more who we've been created to be. We're finally coming to this space and place in our mind where we understand that we are spirit, energy. We're God's having a human experience, which is why we carry gifts, which is why we have certain elements of power to do supernatural things. But we have been lulled to sleep with what? Religion, with misinformation and disinformation. So you'll never develop and become who you're supposed to become, because you have to be this lowly, meek and mild, enslaved, docile person that can be surmounted. It's a crazy thing that you cannot be who you've been designed to be, so that you can have the authority that you need to cause things to happen in the way that they're supposed to happen. This is a new day. This is a new time. This is a new age. We should have evolved, not digressed. We've digressed. And with that, I come to that space and place and time. Y'all know what time. Let me check the timeline before we check out of here. If you hear and you know that you've heard something that you've never heard before, and you really want to connect with that energy, I want to ask you to donate. It takes currency to do everything that we do. And I'm not ashamed to ask you. I'm not begging. If you have it, I'm asking you to donate. The information is on the timeline. Donate. As we bring content to you, you want even greater content. Donate. And if you have any questions about today's session, please inbox me. Right? I do consultations. You can inbox me, and we can set up something. I guarantee you that I'm factually based. Okay? Now, with that, donate. If you have donated, please put it on the timeline so that we can shout you out. Thank you, Prince of Peace, for your donation. Again, shout out to none other than T Swin, Men Can't Always Be Wrong podcast. Y'all check him out. He's in support of the Truth Session. His podcast backs us, and we back his podcast. Thank you, T Swin. And J Bean, his sidekick. Yes, sir. Thank you, King Blackie. Thank you, Master Teacher, for your donation. Just a few more seconds here, just to let you all make up in your mind if you're going to donate. We're not asking for a specific amount. We're just asking you to do it. To come into agreement with us. Thank you, T Swin, for your donation. Let me get some of this nectar by KD. Hopefully, you guys got that info. Download it. Go back and research it for yourself, and watch it become ambivalence in your mind. Watch what happens. Ambivalence gonna jump off, Master Teacher, and then cognitive dissonance. It's gonna happen because why? It's attacking the very core of what you believe. And we know that belief is embedded in subjectivity and not objectivity. To be objective removes your emotions. In other words, it doesn't make you feel any kind of way. It simply reveals to you, and you're able to accept it and move with it. Just give it a couple of more, you all. If you wanted to donate. I know some of you all want to. Thank you, Shahara. Yes, sir. We're going to teach you, King. Y'all got me up here sweating, man. The energy is off the chain. Yes, indeed. Listen, I've reached that space, place, and time. If I didn't see your donation and call you out, please forgive me. I'll get you in the next session. Listen, for those of you that haven't had an opportunity to join us yet, and Wind Down Wednesdays, oh my goodness, you are missing a treat. We get an opportunity to talk about grown folk conversation. We get an opportunity to expand upon it. Listen, it is a platform for you, for me, and for us. All that we do, my constituents and I, master teacher, what we do is we extend this to you all. This is a platform for us. Don't belong to me. It belongs to what? Us. So that what? We can do what we need to do without anyone trying to interrupt us, right? We know how to conduct ourselves because what we have temperance. So we know how to conduct ourselves. Now, with that, we reach that space, place, and time where I must say, oh, what you got? So cogitate upon it, ponder on it, meditate upon it. Then by all means, do what? Govern yourselves accordingly. For love, eternal life, power, prosperity, and excellence. Until next time. So that when I come, wish the talk. Peace be on you.